write the word rap. Someone is rapping.
Rap.
You can, yeah. Initially, we started with just between 5 to 15 children. We've actually been experimenting this idea in rural communities, and we thought it wise to open it up to public, to children in public schools, and see how that will improve. And what we realized is that children now are excited. That excitement factor is there. So when they see a book, they are eager to open the book and read, and that's a good thing. Because if a child is not excited to pick up a book, how does a child read and write?
I remember Portia came to me and we were discussing about how she wanted to help children. And this came from the family she was from. But she realized that there are a lot of children that need help. And she was posted to a village to work over there.
The African Youth Writers Organization came about when I was posted to do my national service at a very remote community in Brona-Hafo. Initially, I had wanted to work in a white-collar job, sitting behind a desk, polished desk, and reading papers like I see most often. But here I was sent to a school to teach 3 classes, JSS. I got there, the children could not understand me, and neither could I understand them. And I wondered, these children were prepared to go and write a language they had no idea about. At that time, in 2012, I thought that I had to do something. But I realized that most often when we want to encourage children to read and write, it's often boring because they see reading and writing to be boring. I designed and facilitated a reading clinic that would make reading exciting to kids. And that is what we are here doing. These kids are reading and they are enjoying it. And that's the whole idea, that reading can be fun. Reading shouldn't be boring. Reading should not just be about reading textbooks or just to read to pass your exams. The reading too can be exciting. But one unique and innovative thing about what we are doing here is that we make kids have other extra activities to do. So for instance, they have card games, dictation, and recently we've just introduced technology to read. We realized that if children could read from tablets, from their laptops, that would be even an exciting factor. Just to see the laptop alone would be an exciting factor, which will let them to read and write.
I have read 6 books today. I came here to read because reading is very exciting and I love reading. This helped me to read every book I take. This is very exciting because they selected us here to come and read and learn something about reading.
We make sure that we scrutinize and select the books, one, based on their level and based on the content. We make sure that we select African books, because there's no point in giving a book to a child to read about snow in another country, while the child might never in his entire life experience such a phenomenon. So we make sure that we use books that the children see themselves, books that have illustrations with black children in them, so that they too feel that, well, they are also part of the stories they read. And based on their level, for instance, when a child is in P5, it's appropriate he reads P5, not going to pick something which is higher or slightly lower than the child. So that one is very important. Our reading and writing clinics too are streamlined to match individual needs. So for instance, we are not looking at the numbers, but we are looking at the quality of it. So we take into consideration the individual child. How is the child progress? Which level is the child? How fast is the child? What is the child background? Has the child been exposed to books? That is why you would have a child who cannot read a single word or a sentence. After undergoing our reading and writing clinic, the child can now read long sentences and even understand what he or she has read.
So many of our children usually they run to me that any time that there should be such a chance that they want to be part of it. So that tells you that those who have been here do benefit from what they get here. So I think it is having a good impact on our children.
Find the word so. So, it's teamwork. Yeah, you had it. So, no. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Are you sure you are ready? Yes. Find the word go. Can you find the word? Can you find the word? Are you ready? Yes. Find the word read. Let's see whether you get read in your cards. Find the word read. Teamwork. Teamwork. You use something to show. Good, that's it. We want to stimulate their imagination. We want to groom a next generation of children that will think, that will be creative. If you can groom 200 kids now, imagine what in 5 years' time that would mean. It will mean we'll have a vibrant crop of children who are creative enough, who are ready to think, because that is what reading does to you. It stimulates your imagination. You're able to solve situations. You see situations in books. You see other countries in books. I'm a writer, and this interest in writing came about because of my passion for reading. I've been reading all my life. At an early age, my father bombarded our house with books. So I got into the act of reading, and I thought, well, so actually reading dared me to become a writer, because I read the books and I also wanted to write them. I write children's books because I want children to also have books to read, books in which they see themselves. I'm still an unpublished writer, but hopefully one of my stories, which won the Golden Baobab Prize, will be published in April. Winning the Golden Baobab Prize means a lot to me. It's validation, because being a writer is a lonely journey, and I feel so excited, and an opportunity for me to write more as well. I'm actually a community worker at a rural community called Bushegu, so that's what I do. So in my spare time, back at work, I actually volunteer during my lunch break to teach kids at the rural community. So when it's lunch break, I go and then teach, just have fun with the kids to read and write. We use the laptop and then just to lure them to read and write. So I've been doing this for a long time, and since I'm passionate about it, I don't see it as a tedious job. I just like it because it's my passion. I'm a social entrepreneur also, and that is because I'm using what I'm passionate about, that is reading and writing. So I've turned reading and writing into an entrepreneurial venture. So I've turned my passion into something that I want to solve a solution in the society. So we've noticed that reading of late is not something that people do. People think that reading, you only read when there's a need to write an exam, which should not be so. I mean, when you go to work, a book should be in your bag. When you are anywhere you go, a book should be in your bag. But how do we get there? We have a bold solution. We are saying that let's start with the young ones now. If you're able to mentor and groom 5,000 kids as at now, imagine what that will mean to us in a couple of years to come. It will mean even it will create a ready market for writers. I think social entrepreneurs are the new thing to do. It's the new cool thing. Everybody should be a social entrepreneur or should support one, because social entrepreneurs get the job done. Unlike politicians, they only make promises that they will provide this and this, but social entrepreneurs go and find a problem, they create a solution and get the job done. To spot something. Spotted.
Protect.
Protect. See, okay, that's it.
Protect.